Okay, this is it. This is my favorite thing on YouTube still to this day. Okay, this is Smarter Every Day. This is his dad. Watch how confused the son is. The more questions he asks, he's like, "What? Doesn't make sense."
And he's about to finish this major job you've been working on, which is the James Webb Space Telescope.
Sunshield for this James Webb Space Telescope.
Hey, it's me, Destin. Welcome back to Smarter Every Day. The James Webb Space Telescope is about to launch, and this is a really big deal that people from all over the science community have been waiting on for years. By the time you watch this video, it may have already
Austin Stelia, this is where measure comes from.
Launched, or it may have been in operation for decades. It doesn't really matter, because today we are going to talk to a very special person, and we're going to learn a lot about the James Webb Space Telescope. The James Webb Space Telescope is too big to fit into any rocket payload fairing, so in order to get it to space, it has to be folded up and launched in this more compact configuration. After launch, it's designed to unfold like origami in what I see as a series of precisely choreographed engineering miracles. Not only do you have to make sure all this stuff works, but it has to happen after the incredibly violent vibration environment of a rocket launch.
And you have to be able to engineer it without doing any practice, right? So you got to do that as well.
Projects like the James Webb Space Telescope, or the JWST as it's known, take so long to make and are in operation for so long, it's incredible. You just saw my dad, and I would be fascinated with the James Webb Space Telescope, whether or not Dad worked on it or not, but the fact that he did makes it pretty darn special for me, and in an upcoming video, we're going to explore exactly what Dad did on the Sunshield, because it's really cool and there's a lot to learn there. But first, I want to
and you realize he didn't do anything on the Sunshield. He literally measures things.
Learn about what the James Webb Space Telescope is, how it works, all the important things. And we're going to do that by talking to a very special individual. A number of years ago, back in 2017, I had an incredible honor. I was invited to Goddard Space Flight Center, and I had the opportunity to speak with an incredibly important person working on the project, Dr. John Mather. Before we start this conversation, I want to explain its importance to you. If you could pick any human in all of history to explain the James Webb Space Telescope to you, you would pick Dr. John Mather. First of all, he's an astrophysicist and a cosmologist, and he actually won the Nobel Prize for Physics along with George
So don't question him.
Smoot for his work on the Cosmic Background Explorer satellite. What I'm trying to say is he understands the night sky like no other.
And astronomers have been looking for the center of the expanding
I really like that drawing on the side there.
The universe for a long time, and there is no sign of it. Imagine an infinite universe that is expanding into itself infinitely.
That's pretty much the only thing me and Andrew disagree on. I mean, there's time, Rachel, there's time.
Without boundary, without a center, without an edge.
The second reason you'd want to listen to Dr. Mather talk about this is because he is the senior project scientist over the James Webb Space Telescope. And what that means is he represents the interest of science to the project managers over the project. And given the fact that he knows all this stuff and the whole project is about science, you can imagine how important that means his perspective is. Not only are
Hold on a second. This isn't actually the visiting video. So let me find the visiting video. This is it. This is it.
Every day. We're on the way to my dad's work, and everything about this is weird. I have been
Listen how weird it is.
trying to interview my own father for 2 years now at his work. The reason it's so difficult is because he has a really unique job. It's 2 a.m. Let's go see what he does. I think you'll understand. I cannot find the building because it's unmarked. I found his car just after driving around for a really long time. Okay, for a bit of context, my dad worked for the auto industry when I was growing up, and he's something called a metrologist. So as the...
Holy cow! That is a big super chat!
That certainly is. W's in the chat for whoever did that, helping fund my trip to Nashville. It will be added to this. It might not show up right away, but we will add all of the donations, including super chats and Bob chats, to this thing up here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That was a really big super chat, as you heard. W's. I never heard of this. Okay, so he has to figure out a way to visit his dad his dad's been working for this place for years, right? Like decades, and he's in his 30s now. I mean, this guy's what, at least 32 in this video, and it's never come up, right? His dad works for NASA in a undisclosed location, just out of the auto industry, though.
Parts came off the assembly line, he would make new, interesting ways to measure those parts. So right now,
his dad's a professional measurer.
We are here at my dad's work. You can see there's testing in progress. Hey, is Daryl Sandlin here? How's it going?
Good.
Say again, you need another stand for what?
You doing all right?
Very well.
Is my dad here?
He's in there.
Okay.
Is he?
Well, they're not
In this
done
room?
with it. The last
I said your dad is actually the one on
Yeah.
the computer
a
room.
beam in the way, but
That's him? Okay.
So that's my dad, and that's the bottom layer of the Sunshield of the James Webb Space Telescope. Hey, it's me, Destin. Welcome back to Present Tense, Smarter Every Day. So here's the deal. My dad did amazing things, and I got to investigate the James Webb Space Telescope in a couple of really interesting ways.
I measure secret things
First
in the darkness.
of all, I got to speak to Dr. Mather. He was the chief scientist over the whole project. I did a really interesting interview with him. It was fantastic. Feel free to check that out if you're interested in that.
He's a meteorologist.
But also, I got to speak to my dad, who at this point in the video was working on the Sunshield, and he had been doing so for many, many years. So the Sunshield for the James Webb Space Telescope protects the optics of the telescope from heat and light from the sun and reflected heat and light from the Earth and the Moon. It also protects the optics from all the electronics that are on the bottom side of the telescope. This is a critical part of the mission because in order to get the images they want in the infrared wavelengths that they're looking at, they have to keep the optics at a very cold temperature, and the Sunshield is what makes all that possible.
Sure it does. I'm sure it does.
There are 5 layers to the Sunshield,
I'm sure it does.
and they unfolded like origami 10 days after launch as the telescope was on its way to L2, which is the second Lagrangian point of the Earth-Sun system. So here's what I want to do. I want to go back in time to 2016 when
I'm sure it all happened. You just launch that thing up there, and it maintains the right orientation to the source of the heat, just perfectly.
I got to go into the clean room with my dad as he's working to measure the Sunshield for the James Webb Space Telescope. I'm excited.
Because he gave you that toy. You went. Did you go to Mickey D's and get the what? Did that come with the Mickey D's? The kids meal?
To show you what he did because I didn't understand all of it, and I got to just ask questions.
I mean, I'm kind of jealous of the kind of neoteny this guy emits. You know, like, he's like a bright-eyed 8-year-old right now. Like, when I told my son he's gonna go to like Monster Jam, like, but this is like a 35-year-old, and he's like, ugh, hey.
And for me,
It's like, you know, I don't want to take that from him. You know, he's intoxicated with his own curiosity.
this is far more than a YouTube video. This transcends all the smarter. This is amazing for me because it's dad and it's me getting to ask him
It's probably not your dad.
stuff. So
It's probably not even your dad. I mean, they probably engineered your whole family. You know, you're in one of those bad Ben Affleck movies. You know.
let's go do it. Let's go back to 2016, get smarter every day with Daryl Sandlin as we learn about the Sunshield for the James Webb Space Telescope.
All right, so what's the deal?
This is the clean, dirty side of the room. That's the clean side of the room.
They have to take vaccines before they go in.
Okay.
Where you're sitting,
They don't want to give the Webb telescope COVID.
that's the dividing line. Right here.
This French.
Oh, is the mic thing totally too loud? I could change that a little bit. Let me see.
Clean side now.
Yeah. Well,
Well, it gets a lot hotter once you're in here, doesn't it?
and we have all done this probably 5 times a day for the last.
You know, we got to get in these rabbit bunny suits, cover everything up, you know what I mean, and measure stuff. We don't want to mismeasure.
Long time.
Oh, yeah. Are you serious? 5 times a day for how long have you done this?
It's been a long time, right? Yeah.
I'm in the wrong business. You know what I should get into? I should get into selling those types of clothing, like that sock on that guy's face. Do you know how much? You know how much that's marked up, being that NASA bought it. Do you know how much that costs right there? Some Etsy person who makes this stuff is like, they're like, you have an Etsy shop, but you're living in Malibu. What is it? Yeah, sold several thousand face socks to NASA.
4 years, 5 years.
Oh, more than that for the program. It's positive pressure from there to here for the attic room.
So all dust is blowing that way.
Right.
Gotcha. All right, so this is the core measurement group, right, Dad?
Yeah.
We are a measuring group. That's right, I was in the auto business.
Holy cow! That is a big super
Would you
chat!
like anything else with your orange Fago and Doritos and your super Slurpee?
Sounds so good.
No. Well, please come again.
Doritos
Beach.
sounds so good for some reason. Thank you so much. That's a very generous super chat. W's in the chat. Again, Vagine. Whoever's speaking through Vagine or using V. Yeah, I appreciate you.
So this is Bobby Thorne, and y'all worked together for 100 years?
25 at least.
Combined it almost.
I've known him for 25. I haven't seen him work for 25.
Yeah.
And this is Mark. And Mark, you're the specialist on the shield itself, right?
Listen, dude, listen to that stall. They don't know what they're doing. Obviously, if someone's a professional measurer and they're being guided, right, and counseled by someone who understands the operation of the thing, right, this is supposed to be the guy. This is where Destin, who's like all bright-eyed and curious and he's excited, he's going to ask basic, reasonable questions, right? Just basic questions. But what do we find? The basic questions is really what sends people into a loop. Basic questions. Snaggleby's $5. The government is actually super cheap for a lot of normal things like food, military, and healthcare. Propaganda is expensive, so NASA is interesting. So listen to the question.
Hey, say I'm a
The core measurement group, right, Dad?
Yeah.
So this is Bobby Thorne, and y'all worked together for 100 years?
25 at least.
Combined it almost.
I've known him for 25. I haven't seen him work for 25.
And this is Mark. And Mark, you're the specialist on the shield itself, right?
I say I'm a putz is what I do.
No.
Okay.
I like
Nothing. Total dodge. You're not a specialist. You don't understand anything.
the putz with everything. I've done.
You putz with everything. You don't know. You're not a specialist. You guys are just useful tools. Go measure things. Make it look like we're doing something here. Well, they measure and I putz around and... Oh, so you don't know. So you're doing measurements for something that you don't understand the thing itself or what it... Like, I mean... This is a massive red flag. If you were to do this for any company, by the way, that would get audited, this would be a red flag. But it's totally fine for NASA, you know? Ask them what they physically do, what they actually do. You know what I mean? You do this for any other job. You're like, what do you do? What is it you do? Well, I just putz around and they measure things. Are you the specialist? Well, no. Just putzing around.
Done process, I've done measurements, I've done a whole bunch of different things.
You've gotten lunch. Yeah, you did measurements. You dealt the cards during lunch. Skip bow.
I've done this program. Got a patent on one of the things that we've done, so that's kind of nice.
Sweet. Cool. All right. My name is actually on the clean room access list.
Is it?
There's a D. Sandlin here.
Oh, yeah, that's you.
I don't think it works that way, does it?
So it was kind of a big moment for me to walk in and be standing.
These outfits are unnecessary.
Yeah.
In India, we build satellites in our sandals
I know.
and dresses.
I know, Vagine. I know it's unfair. You guys get way less money to do the same job.
In the same room with this thing and my dad. It was one of those moments that you know will be special for the rest of your life.
This is my dad, and he's about to finish this major job you've been working on, which is the James Webb Space Telescope.
Sunshield for the James Webb Space Telescope.
Okay, so just so you understand, it's harder to get in this room for me than it was to go see the President of the United States, to talk to my own dad. You don't have any idea how much email I had to do to get in here, dude.
I have no idea.
I have no idea. I don't know anything. I zip my trap. I get paid up to $200,000 a month just to measure something I don't understand. I shut my mouth, son. I don't ask questions. Me and my friend got plucked up from the auto industry. We don't even know how we fell in some golden shit. Let me tell you what. I ain't moving. I am bathing in it.
It's ridiculous. All right, so what I want to do, if you don't mind, is, you know when I was a kid and you would teach me stuff?
Yep.
I want to do that only like 20 years later, and I have an engineering degree, and you've worked on the most expensive telescope to ever exist.
Oh, Dad's in trouble. Dad's in trouble in this. It was in this moment, Dad thought, this is a mistake. My son is an engineer, and I'm supposed to teach him about what this is and how it operates. I raised my own end. This is the end. Oh boy. Okay, Dustin, just try not to ask too many questions, okay? Because I'm just measuring stuff here. I can't teach you nothing.
Yep. Can I do that?
Yep. Awkward. I don't like this already, son. I am not liking. Look at him looking away. He's so uncomfortable. And little Destin, all chirpy, still 8 years old inside his mind, his little pea brain. Dad, I never got to do this. It took 50,000 emails to get into this room. Now I'm so excited, Dad. This is like old times. You get to teach me stuff, Dad. Dad? Are you my dad? Okay, son.
Sure. Okay, let's go have fun. All right. So this is what keeps the Sunshield.
What keeps the telescope shielded from the sunlight, Earthlight, moonlight.
Got it. Okay, and so that's because the instrument has to be really cold, right?
Yes, it does. Very cold.
All right, so this is like a potato chip sack or something?
Well,
that's right. It's actually a potato chip sack. That's where we ordered it from. I'm surprised we got this much material.
it's only 1/1000th of an inch thick. What you're seeing is 2/1000. This is the thickest layer. This is 2/1000 thick.
There's 5 layers, I understand.
5 different layers, right. And this is the flattest layer. And this is not the true shape of it. It's just on a 1x load. It's not the true shape of it right now. It's not under tension.
Gotcha. How does this thing hang up next to the spaceship?
That's the rim area. That's where the telescope will be. When we say rim, that's where the Sunshield attaches to the space telescope. We're in a structure right here that we call the verification structure. And
You mean these yellow things are the verification structure?
Yes.
So they simulate what? The cables that...
Verification structure. These things here holding up the tent. We got a very silver tent that we're measuring every day. Every day. You're smarter every day. We're measure every day. And we just lay out the tent, and what we do is we hitch it to the verification structure, and we measure more. So I've been working here 5 years, and what we do is we measure, and then we measure again.
That are pulling the tension on the heat shield?
We mount these pulley blocks. You see the pulley blocks?
This is actually just an office. Yeah, it's a converted office building. That's it. These guys are the luckiest guys on earth. They got plucked up years ago from the auto industry to just measure things.
Very precisely. We try to get them within.
Does anything here look precise at all? He wrote a request when he was 8 years old. Now he just finally got here. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
5/1000 of an inch. But when we put different weights on them, these structures will flex or bend a little bit, will be loaded, and they'll move a little bit. So we try to put them in a position so that when we put them under load, they move into the position that they'll see in space.
So
What? Excuse me? How do you know the position they're going to be in space? So this is the thing. This is the verification structure. They hang up this tinfoil tent. They measure it, and then they add weights and tension to it to match something they don't have access to.
what you're doing, you're a metrologist, right? You measure stuff.
I measure stuff, that's true.
You drug me all over North Alabama when we were growing up measuring stuff.
Measuring car parts. Yeah.
How the heck did you get to this from car parts?
Yeah, Dad. Dad, how did this happen? Was there a weird email? What? Dad, I don't see the... How did...
Parts.
Well, when I retired from working in the auto industry, I went to work for some companies that work for the Air Force, the Navy, the
Oh, really?
Army.
Your son doesn't know about this. Well, son, I hid my life from you for quite some time, and you're now 35 just asking me now how I got my job? Where I worked? Well, son.
Medical things, I've measured things. I've measured knee joints, hip joints. I've measured a bunch of things.
I measure so many damn things in this world, and NASA was like, we need the greatest measurer on Earth. You know what I'm saying? And they did a Google search. They tracked me down. They had a headhunter that was, I mean, he was set in his ways. He looked at 40, 50, 80 other measurers, the best measurers. I know some of them. I'm still friends with some of the top measurers today. We're on a group call every month. What it's like to be a professional measurer. The toll it takes on your family. How to not dream about measuring tape. How to not wake up and say numbers. You know what I'm saying? And so it's been a big, I mean, it's a long thing from auto to this. So,
There's nothing this big. This is
this boy can measure.
really big.
Okay, so can we...
And so the technical term for this thing is, you see how quickly he got off of his, I should be an interrogator, honestly. I should be a narc. You see how quickly he got off the topic? Watch this. Dad, how did you get this job? It's kind of strange.
Work.
Listen.
How the heck did you get to this from car parts?
Well, when I retired from working in the auto industry, I went to work for some companies that work for the Air Force, the Navy, the Army, medical things. I've measured things. I've measured knee joints, hip joints. I've measured a bunch of things. There's nothing this big. This is really big.
Okay.
All right, good one. Good way to get it off of your provenance. Way to get it off the history there. I mean, I measured toenails. I measured all sorts of things. I haven't measured your wee-wee when you're just a baby. Mom remembers. so fun. Oh, man, I miss it. But this is big. This is a big thing. So can we look at the thing again? Can we look back at that and not at my history? I don't want you to know how I got into this business. You're gonna ruin it for me. Off topic, resurrect base boomer, make him a character, orthoflex. Absolutely, I thought about that. I absolutely did. Some boomer. Yeah, Tony has to deal with a boomer.
Okay, so can we go over
Yeah, Chad. Not a vague answer at all.
to the backside and look at underneath it?
Sure. I don't even know the backside. I'm trying to work my way around the verification machine.
So I saw...
He's so uncomfortable. Are you guys... I'm not projecting this, I promise. The discomfort in the dad knowing we're further examining his job.
Knee joints, hip joints. I've measured a bunch of things. There's nothing this big. This is
He's like, get out of here, son. You're a pain in my ass.
really big.
Okay, so can
Watch.
we go over to the backside and look at underneath it?
Oh, boy.
So,
oh, my goodness.
so I saw you measuring it the other day. They let me watch through that window,
Yeah.
and I saw that you guys had two types of measurement devices.
Yes.
Okay, you had I know a little bit about laser scanning. You had a laser scanner that would just do a 3D point cloud.
Yes.
And then you had point scanners, and you were using corner reflectors, right? Like these little spots on the ground?
Yeah. Monuments in the floor. Yes.
So you're measuring the 3D shape of the Sunshield in relation to the floor?
Right. Well, The floor gets us a rough position on the verification structure.
The verification structure. Well, the floor gets us a just general rough verification structure measurement. And then we just keep measuring after that. I mean, it's all, you know, we find them. Man, I'm hungry.
The floor is just a reference. There's a lot of different coordinate systems involved here, a lot of different coordinate frames.
Okay.
And the floor just gives us an idea of where we need to put everything so we can set it up relative to each other.
Wow. Relative to each other, son. Is that enough for you, son? Can you leave, son? You're making my easy-ass job real hard right now. All that money I spent on you going to college, being an engineer, you are doing something terrible right now, son. You gotta go. Look at that. Look at the look. He's like, stop asking me questions. Yes, we reflect the things off the floor to get a relative position to the floor so we know how to hang it or something. All right? This is for you, son. You're ruining it, son.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is
Really? Really, he says.
the master coordinate system for the James Webb then?
It's
Beats the hell out of me, son.
the J1, J2, J3 system. It comes from that rim. Actually, the master coordinate system is down in the floor. And
Sure it is. Sure. Okay. The master coordinate system is in the floor? Really? Really?
this is J2. J1 is forward and aft.
Is that? Are you talking about a plane or an axis?
Just an axis.
Okay. So this is the bottom side of the space telescope here. So the telescope's on the top.
This is the sunny side. This is what the sun will see. It'll be purple like this. This is silicon on this side.
So why would you have a dark color here? I thought you want a light color to reflect the sun's heat.
Dad, I mean, this is billions of dollars, Dad. I mean, I thought the whole point of this, Dad, engineering-wise, was to cool down this very important machine that you said is in the floor, by the way. Dad, aren't we going to keep it cool or it's going to die and the billions and billions of dollars, allocated to this project would just be gone in an instance, Dad? Why is it that everything I know about heat reflection and heat attraction, how come you're doing the opposite, Dad? You're a son of a bitch, son. Your mom is such a bitch. I don't even like you, son. I name you Destin. Do you take a hint, son? I don't want to be around you. Now listen to his answer. This is fascinating. Jules, this is what happens when you are a scammer and you raise a son who's smart enough, okay, to expose you. Now, listen to what he says. Listen to what he says, okay? Listen to what his answer.
It'll be purple like this. This is silicon on this side.
So why would you have a dark color here? I thought you want a light color to reflect the sun's heat, radiation specifically.
I'm not sure. I measure the thing.
I just measure things, son. I don't know why, son. I just measure. I'm a measurer. I don't get it. I can't tell them there's something wrong. How am I supposed to measure something and understand what I'm measuring? I mean, you gonna expect me to do two things at once, son? Come on, haven't you seen me at the barbecues? Son, I don't know why it's totally antithetical to keeping things cool. It's only a trillion billion dollars, son. Not my department. Defer, deflect. The irony is that I'm going to deflect just like this here telescope shield. Why is the engineering off? Obviously. Don't know. Don't know. Son, I just work here, son. I'm just putting people in the gulag, son. I don't know. Don't ask me. Don't you dare ask me.
It'll be purple like this. This is silicon on this side.
So why would you have a dark color here?
You say absorption, right? Well, that's not the same as reflection, though. You know, that might be a better answer, Jantix, but the problem is that's not the narrative. It's reflective. Absorbing would be attracting heat, but then you need a method to dispel the heat, which adds more energy. You need more energy to do that. So if you're going to consolidate and absorb heat, that's antithetical to reflecting heat. You don't want to absorb heat. If you're trying to keep heat away, you want to deflect heat. Now, if you do absorb it, you need to transfer the energy somehow, which is another thing you need on board. But that's not the narrative, right? The narrative is reflect. That's the whole point. A reflective tent shield that blocks the sun and keeps things cool. So it went from deflective to absorbative.
I thought you want a light color to reflect the sun's heat, radiation specifically.
I'm not sure. I measure the thing. I don't know. I don't know that.
Dad, you're dumb. Daddy, you're ruining my whole image of my childhood. You're killing me here. I came all excited thinking Dad's going to teach me stuff. Dad, this is a little bit fishy.
Emissions, you know, the reflectivity, you'd have to talk to Mark or someone.
Someone who's not me, someone else, and they're going to say talk to someone else as well.
An engineer for that.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so one thing I'm noticing here is there's a lot of holes all in the space.
Yeah, it's holy, isn't it?
Oh, check it out. You can see our reflection in it.
Oh, yeah, you can, can't you? Better on the other side on the vapor deposited aluminum.
Really?
Yeah.
So why are there holes in a heat shield? If you're trying to block the sun, why would you need a hole right in the middle of that thing like that?
Well, it's going to be folded up in the rocket that puts it up there, the Ariane 5, I believe.
Ariane 5, the French rocket?
Yes. It's going to be folded up and stowed away. And when it launches, the air that's trapped in the Sunshield has to get out some way. So
the air has to get out. You're in a vacuum. You're telling me that in a vacuum, the air needs to find a way out? No, the vacuum. No, that's not how it works. How's this air gonna get out? The air inside the folded up blanket needs to get out somehow. And so when we unfold it, that won't do it, though. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be a problem. So when we open up the shield, we need a way to get the air out into the vacuum of space. So what we do is we punch little holes. We punch little holes in the shield to get the airs out. Because without that holes in the shield, when we open that thing up into space, that air's gonna, where is that gonna go? If it's not through the holes. You know? We can't have that air in there, so, no, that would, what? What?
these are vent holes, air vent holes.
But won't the sun make it through that and hit the telescope?
Well, I don't know, son. Stop asking me questions, you little bastard. You're not even mine. It's there, I said it, son. You're Ricky's, okay? It was a confusing time in our life, okay? Ricky was a close friend. Mom and Ricky got close. It wasn't the best time in our life. I'm not proud of it, son. Ricky's your daddy. Mud, it's not about keeping things cool. It's about keeping things cool. Everyone knows black is the coolest color.
Hopefully the vent holes that's in layer 2 will not be in line with the one that's in layer 1. And the vent hose that's in layer 3 is still out of line, and 4 and 5.
So these holes are specifically for deployment and nothing else?
Right, that's right.
That's right. Oh my gosh, I just dodged another bullet with my son. Yeah, that's right. Whatever you say it is, son. You're the one poking holes, no pun intended, in my entire career right now. So, yep, you got it. Ding, ding, ding. I got a smart son.
So if they do their job, after that point, it's just wasted space, or it's a wasted feature. Okay.
Once it gets in space, you know, there'll be no air to vent. So you know the way the atmospheric balloons.
Scott says temperature changes the size of aluminum. Space is not room temperature. That's the other thing I'm thinking about here, is that this can't possibly, in any way, shape, or form, represent the conditions of the actual, this idea that there's this shield facing the wrong way, by the way, with holes in it, is going to be, you know, expanded fully, full tension in space. Okay? You can't, where's the replication of space? Well, I don't know. I just work here and measure things. Zorch, $5. This guy needs to learn from CERN and fill his workshop with Hindus and electrical hazards.
Swell.
So nobody visits? I never thought about that. That's actually probably the case. You're like, this is too important and crazy. You should be so afraid of ruining something that you won't even step in.
This is to keep that from happening to our...
They can calculate for temperature conditions? Yeah. Okay. Calculation is not the same as demonstration, okay? You can calculate for a lot of things. But like Yogi Berra said, when it comes to practice and theory, right? In theory, they're the same. In practice, they're not, okay? Calculations. You're going to calculate, you know, you're just going to predict unpredictable things, right?
Nice Sunshield.
Oh, so you're saying when it's folded up like a shirt inside the Ariane 5, the French rocket, as it flies up in the atmosphere, that gas starts to expand.
Yes.
And once it expands, it tries to blow the whole thing up like a balloon.
That's my understanding of it. Yeah.
That's my understanding, even though it's not a balloon, even though it's actually just a thin layer that gets folded up, and there's plenty of places that air can go. And what we know about air, when it needs to escape, it will. Okay? But otherwise, it's going to blow up and it's going to be a hot air balloon, son. We didn't want the James telescope to be a hot air balloon, son. Or else it's going to blow up like a balloon, son. You got it. The dad is just saying yes to anything the kid says to just get by at this point. Yep, it would have blown up like a balloon, that's for sure. That's because all flat things blow up as balloons. They all do that.
Yes, and that's what the vent holes are for.
Let's talk about scanning.
All right, let me get a laser scanner.
Okay. How many years have you been doing this?
Laser scanner, the reason I took this job is because they got this device right here, and I had never used a 3D laser scanner before. This is
the reason you got this job is that you've never used the technology that you need to know for the job. The reason here I took this job in the first place, son, I don't know if you know this, is that they had this piece of technology that I don't even know how it operates now. So I was basically I was perfect for the job.
Faro Focus 3D scanner.
Chronic says you can calculate all day in theory, but in practice, the rubber meets the road. Yeah, it's always the case. That's why that's a saying for sure.
Used to using like XYZ coordinate measure machines, right?
Well, the reason they tap me, son, is look at the eye. Dude, look at his eyes. Every question gets worse for this guy. Well, shit, son. This is one of the worst days I've ever had here. Look at the guys whispering. When is this son going to leave? When is this guy going to leave? This son is always such a little freaking brat. The son is such a brat. I said no. I told him, no, don't do it. He didn't listen. I never had my son here because I'm smart. This dude's going to ruin it for us. We've been measuring here for 30 years plus, measuring the same damn piece of sheet. This little kid, this little bright-eyed, bushy-tailed kid's going to come in and ruin it? Oh, my goodness. Look at him. Look at the dad. He's just frozen in time. Life collapsing right before his eyes.
Right? Yes. CMMs, coordinate measuring machines. But this is See this mirror, the way it turns right here?
You see a turning mirror I never used before? That's why I got hired, son.
Yeah.
I have a mirror that turns.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the best measurer of them all? I am, son. I am, son. See that? If you're giggling, pay your Shortlandian taxes, please. 20 of 50, sir. SARS. Okay? If you're giggling, if I see laugh emojis, I want to see the S with the line through it emoji. Okay? I got to get to Nashville, all right? This is serious business. This isn't free. Don't work for NASA here, okay? Come on. Yes, son, I'm the greatest measurer on Earth.
We mount it on a tripod or a high pod that we have over there. This mirror turns at a high rate. A laser comes out of here, bounces off this mirror. Now that laser is not very eye friendly. You have to be 35 feet away.
Okay.
From it. Okay. When the laser hits this, it will make a plane, just a big plane.
Can you imagine being a measurer and that's the sound you hear? Like, what's that? Listen to that sound. Oh, you got to measure all? What is this? Some sort of MK Ultra? Oh, you're going to measure today. Cool. Where are we measuring? In this room. This is where I measure, son. I'm glad you came to visit me, son. This is where we measure things all day. Try to concentrate. all right. Fair enough. Yes, thank you. Fair enough. It is fair. It is fair. It's a giggle tax. Okay, you giggle, you pay. I, Bainini, pay someone to run a JB Clips channel. Can't make it to every live. Yeah, I don't have a Clips channel, but I do clips on my own channel, though. So, highlights 10 minutes or so. Thank you for that suggestion. $5. Solagriftola. Yeah, Solagriftola it is. Okay.
This at a very high rate of speed. It will take...
Yeah, the sound waves won't throw off the measurements, right? Sound doesn't, I don't know, rattle thin material at all.
975,000
Guilty of giggling. Yes, if you're guilty of giggling, pay the tax.
points per second, XYZ points. And then this will begin to rotate like this. As it rotates, it'll take plane.
Oh, so
paint the entire room.
So right now, if I were to cut a section right here,
yes,
it would take a plane and then you would rotate it over like this. But this would be a pretty bad spot to do that from, right?
You can't see much from here.
So where do you do it?
Well, we do it in 7 or 8 different places. But what's important is these.
They skipped that. Notice the cut, dude. Notice this. Okay, that's an important question, right?
That from, right?
You can't see much from here.
So where do you do it?
Well, we do it.
Well, look down. Oh my gosh, I have no idea. I can't show you. The dude was probably like this, because Destin is so, he's like, oh, tell me the world, Dad. He's all, where are the places, Dad? We do it from 7 or 8 or 1 or 9 or places or 5 places or one of those numbers. And he's like, where, Dad? Where are those? He's looking around. Son, you're gonna have to cut that.
In 7 or 8 different places. But what's important?
What's important is not that. What's important is not what I actually do, okay, son? So when you keep asking me questions about, like, the technical aspect of what I actually do, that's actually not the important part, son.
Is these spheres. Can you see that sphere there?
Yes, I can.
This sphere over here. When we do the scanning from over here, you see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We want at least 3 spheres in view.
Can we go walk to the sphere?
Yeah, let's go look at the sphere.
All right, so this is the sphere?
Yep. About a 7-inch sphere.
What's important?
This is so sick. This is like, I mean, this is really just the epitome of wasted money. Like, this is just anyone who has that argument against government waste. I mean, this is just the richest example of it.
Important about that.
It's a reference
It's a reference
point. When we do a
reference point.
scan from the
I put a sphere on a weird clown ladder. It reminds me of McDonald's every day I'm here, son. Don't these things remind you of McDonald's? We just glued a sphere onto this.
middle, we want to be able to see at least 3 spheres in view. So that we do a scan, then we take a laser tracker and we precisely measure the position of each of these spheres.
Okay, so what you're doing is you're getting a hemisphere worth of data.
Yes. The scanner calculates the center of that sphere using one algorithm or one set of measurements. But the laser tracker will take 7 points on it using an SMR, a spherical mounted retroreflector.
A corner reflector.
Yeah, corner reflector.
Yeah.
You know about those.
I do.
And
You know about those, son. That's why you're asking all these damn good questions, undermining my entire job.
we get a precise location with it. The scanner is not that accurate, but the laser tracker is very, very.
You notice how we still have no idea what the purpose of any of it is, right? We still don't. Like, you think it's obvious. It's like you try to think it in your head and you go, wait, no, they're measuring the size of this reflector that's facing the wrong way so that they have an idea of when it expands in relation to the rest of the thing that they're making, that it expands fully to a certain amount, and they need the thickness, they need the tension, they need all of these, they need all of this information, right, to engineer the next phase, right? That sounds like it makes sense. But when you ask them what is it they're actually doing, like when you get it into the daily, like it's like, what do you do all day?
Very accurate. So we measure these spheres, we compare where the scanner thinks the spheres are to where
The purpose is to be measured. That's the purpose. Just measure.
laser trackers say the spheres actually are.
Okay, this gets a little bit complicated, so I want to jump in here and make sure that we understand the 2 different types of instruments.
By the way, this guy later made a critical speech that he got some pushback on, criticizing NASA because their narrative of their capability doesn't match at all the alleged capability of the past. It went like kind of viral, this guy, because of it. And so a lot of people like me are hypercritical of NASA and their claims over the last 100 years. We picked up on it. We're like, oh, he's actually bringing an argument, right? He's bringing some level of, at least, not even an argument, but at least some level of incredulity to it. Be like, what is going on here, guys? None of this makes sense. I visited my dad's work and everything else started collapsing after. What's going on, guys? How much rehearsal do you think his dad had to do before this interview? I think they had to prepare, logical trees. Like, what if he asks this? What if he asks that? What if he does this? Obviously the son is smart, and the dad's just dude, he just took an amazing passive income ticket. I mean, you don't get this. Like, the only thing luckier than this is an actual lotto ticket
We're using. The first one is a laser scanner, which pivots around the room and paints the area with a laser to give you a wide point cloud of what's going on. The second thing we're going to use is the laser tracker. The point of the laser tracker is to precisely measure individual points. We're not painting an entire area with the tracker, we're just locating one specific hard point to a high degree of accuracy. Okay, so 2 tools. Laser scanner paints a wide area, gets a point cloud. Laser tracker gets us individual points to a high degree of precision. This episode of Smarter Every Day is sponsored by Kiwi. There's also
Of that sphere up next to that sphere.
I touch it, but he'll point to it and he'll say, I'll acquire the beam, which is what I'll do right now. The laser tracker will turn green when I do this.
All right.
When I intercept the beam. I will intercept the beam now. All right, I have the beam.
Okay, so I can see it in the corner reflector now. So you can carry the beam with you.
Yes, now I can touch the side of it. and it knows that I'm touching it.
And so what I do is shoot a laser in a laser receptor, and I put the laser receptor on the white sphere on the yellow McDonald's ladder, and it knows that I'm touching it now.
I'll move it a
I have the beam.
little bit, and then the software will say waiting for stable, waiting for measurement. It will wait until it gets quite a few measurements that are stable and not moving, and it'll acquire 1 point. Then I'll move it when it stabilizes.
Oh, you just moving the laser receptacle around the sphere? You just doing that? What I do is I sit on the McDonald's ladder in my bunny outfit, and what I do is I just move this little thing around all the sphere and just get the laser reading, and then I'm good. And then we have lunch.
It will acquire second point. I do this 7 times.
Now you tell me, son, how does that beam look on the sphere? I do it 7 times. Arbitrary number that my wranglers told me. They said make sure to do it 7 times.
4, 5, 6, 7. What a
Dude just made that up. The dude is literally doing improv. Watch him do improv again. This is beautiful. I'm learning about improv from this guy.
Acquire 1 point. Then I'll move it. When it stabilizes, it will acquire second point. I do this 7 times.
1 here, 1, 5,
6, 7. What I try to do.
Dude, he didn't even know what the 7th was gonna be. He just made it up. He didn't even know where he was gonna go. Like, he just literally made it up. Watch, he didn't even decide where the last one was going to be until the last second.
I do this 7 times. 4, 5, 6, 7. What I try to do is go to the North Pole, go around, describe a hemisphere, and then take an equator so they get a good hemisphere. It takes those 7 points and calculates the exact center of the sphere.
But if you had
So what we're doing is measuring the sphere now on the McDonald's ladder. This is more intense than an ISO audit. It really is. The sun is like, Destin is like, what is going on? What are you doing?
At all of the points around the perimeter of it, you wouldn't be able to get depth in as high of a tolerance.
Right, it's a 3-dimensional surface, you know, it's a 6.9-inch sphere.
Does anything he just did, what he just did, does that read at all precise at all? Okay. The whole thing, they're getting suits, you know, they're in this totally manufactured movie set where everything's controlled, right? No.
Jimbob, this guy is clearly just referencing Stargate. You need 7 points to track your position in a 3D space. But he didn't even do it right. The laser tracker is the 7th point, the point of origin. Idiot.
Well, even so, like, his hand arbitrarily just decided, like, it's all arbitrary? Is that what's happening? And then it's tracking what? Like, what does this have to do with the measurement of the freaking thing? Like, nothing. It does. He's not explaining the 7 point. Yeah, that could all be true. Like, but he obviously is just like, I don't even know what this guy's doing. I almost feel like he got like a pamphlet, like, you got to do this all day. It's like, okay, it says here we got to measure 7 times over here. And my hand can be anywhere. I mean, I'll just move the laser anywhere.
About the same size.
So it's important
I have to brush up on my sacred geometry.
to define as wide of a position as possible.
Just a circle, not a plane, but the 3-dimensional center of the sphere.
Got it.
Not 3D space, the sphere is granted already.
That's what the laser scanner, this center, all these spheres here from each point will be compared to the scan. And that lets us position the scan relative to.
So it's a temporary datum.
Right. But it's the most important, the most accurate datum that there is.
Because it never moves.
So we've got labels on all the points we measure. As you can see, we've got a sphere right here. It shows the sphere center. And again, the data says that it was within less than 3 mils of position.
3 mils meaning
3,000ths of an inch.
0.003.
0.003 inches.
Got it. That's pretty tight.
Yeah.
That's pretty tight when you're talking about measuring a big plastic surface like this.
And I'm sure Daryl already explained to you that these are the registration spheres for the scanner. The scanner does not actually register to the coordinate frame. This is our reference for the scanner to get back to the coordinate frame for the rest of the system.
It's a temporary datum.
A laser scanner works by shooting some photons from one emitter out to something and then getting a reflection back to a detector. And if I know how long it took in time for that light to go out and back, and I know the speed of light in air, then I can just use algebra and I can figure out how far away the object is.
Yeah, we get it. Lasers measure things accurately. I understand. We get it. We understand. And if you're measuring something 3D space, we understand you need the preset 7 positions, right? To give you that dimension. But still, I'm like, what is it you're actually doing? And by the way, with the technology, how long are you doing this for? Like,
So that's pretty cool. The second thing is if I know where I'm pointing my laser at the time in both azimuth, left and right, and elevation, up and down, then I...
Like isn't the material changing and stretching and like, you know...
No,
Jean?
I can't tell you why the hallway chirps, but I can measure it. I can predict the next and following chirp. I have a very good understanding of it, and that's good enough for me. I'm not distracted by the philosophical side of why the hallway chirps.
Yeah, I'm wondering, thanks, Vagine. I was wondering about that too. Why is there a hand holding the reflective thing? You would build a contraption around the sphere, right? You just build the reflectors, right? You'd have it, like, given that the amount of money that's put in, like, I'm just, like, this is weird analog, like, element to all of this that's really off to me. It's a massive analog element to it.
I can use trigonometry to calculate a 3D coordinate of where that thing is. X, Y, and Z. Boom, that's your 3D point. You get a point.
To really understand this, people are like, well, you could just assume the measurement and the expansion of heat on the foil and everything else, but you're not testing it, though. You're not like, even if you granted all their measurements, the moment you introduce an outside element like intense heat or intense cold or whatever, you then have to account for that. But that's all just like assumed. You're like, you don't practice engineering. You just mathematically engineer, and then it works perfectly out there, just every time. No problem. If space-time bends, wouldn't that affect the laser measurements? Nope. Nope, that doesn't count anymore. DJ84, it doesn't count anymore. Measure the goal with basic algebra. I am measuring the goal. We got an hour left. I'll hold you all hostage. 27. That's 23 more. 23 more.
Point with a 3D coordinate, and you do that.
This This guy's trying to act like we need to be convinced that things are measured.
Gajillion times, you can define a surface or the shape of something. Here I have some metal, right? Kind of reflective. If I'm going to scan this thing, the ideal way to do it is to get my laser scanner as orthogonal to the object as possible, meaning I want to hit it straight on, 90 degrees, right? Because I'm going to get a bounce back laser return and I can measure that, right? But if I measure a reflective object at a shallow angle like this, what will happen is my light beam will go down and it'll bounce off the shiny object. For that reason, Dad and the team always tried to position the laser scanner in the most orthogonal spot possible, meaning as close to 90 degrees as they could get. The problem is, because this thing is so big and the room is like kind of confined, you can only position this thing in certain areas.
Why is the room confined? You know what I mean? Why is the room confined?
So you might be able to,
I don't know, you spend $37 trillion on something you're going to launch into space to measure stars and paint pictures on Adobe Photoshop. And the one thing you don't account for when you're doing this very expensive measuring process is, I don't know, a location that accounts for being able to measure it.
get a really good shot on a close-up position, but not far away. It's pretty interesting to think about. And
I asked Dad, I said, why'd they put you in a room that's not conducive to accurate measurements, given that the stakes are very high, Dad? Well, I don't know. I just, they just emailed me and said, you want to get out of the car business? I said, hell yeah, son. I hate that shit. I'm out, son. Well, why wouldn't they just... That's the least expensive thing, is the room being bigger. The least expensive thing is the room being bigger. Well, son, they wanted to make it hard to make sure we were honorable workers.
The team has a lot of really interesting tricks to deal with this.
These are laser targets.
Those
they set us up in here, they rented out this space, and we thought, well, we can't really do our job properly here. And they said, perfect.
Wait, are they paper?
No.
When is Modern Day Debate Fest? It's November 14, 15, 16, maybe? Something like that. Check that date. Still some time, still tickets available to get those. I'm pretty locked in. 14, 15, 16, yeah. Thank you for adding to the goal. Gets me to 28, y'all, which 22 more, y'all. 22 more. Let's get it.
No, they're not paper. You can't have paper in this room.
Okay.
Because of particles. But this is flash breaker tape. They are targets too. They're very precisely located with a laser tracker so that you can look at the position of these and you can calculate the line.
Oh, I think I just got it. Yeah. I think I just understand. There's two types of reflection of light, right?
Yeah.
There's specular and
He's teaching him. He's like, what? I don't know, son. Why you asking me questions again?
diffuse.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
This is specular reflection. This shiny surface is a specular reflective surface, right?
Yes.
The diffuse is what I'm seeing on those targets.
Yes.
So is it true that the laser scanner can pick up the diffuse reflection?
Much better than the highly reflective stuff. So you can tell where the surface is.
But there's no way you're going to fly that diffuse.
No, they're just laying on there temporarily. They have very low mass. They're not reflecting the surface. They will actually move. I don't want to touch it right now.
Right.
But they'll take these off.
They don't want to touch anything.
This is tape. They'll take this tape off. And what you'll see is just the shiny part there.
Gotcha.
I'm going to turn on the surfaces, and then we're going to colorize the surfaces. Render those.
Oh, so it knows what the shield is supposed to look like.
Yeah, we have a predict model for the shield in here. I'll go to top view. So that's what it looks like. We can turn any of these features on and off. Again, we have them labeled. And I can point to any of these features in here at this point.
That's pretty cool. So the final data product here, who processes the data? Is that Naveen's job?
Naveen will process the data. We are the measurement monkeys.
And what is the final data product?
The data product, yeah, you can see this one's only 6 mils off.
Yeah.
That's how tight we set the pulley blocks up, and that's where it's. The data product is a plot of the shape of the membrane in its coordinate frame, and we have to tell it how much this membrane shape is RMS. So all these hard point measurements are support functions for the scan measurements.
Gotcha.
I want to take a second to talk about what the team is doing exactly. Number one, they have a laser scanner that's measuring point clouds, and they have a laser tracker that's measuring precise points. The team has to measure this really big sunshield, and the sunshield is designed to block light, which is what these instruments use. So they can't set up in one position and measure everything because part of it might be shaded by another part of the sunshield. So they have to position these instruments all over the room and then add up all that data into one data set. To do this, they position spheres in the room, and these spheres don't move over the entire measurement process. Every time they set up an instrument, they have to be able to see at least 3 of these spheres because the centers of any 3 of these spheres define an exact 3D plane between those 3 points, which could anchor everything back to the external coordinate system. So if they could see more than 3 spheres, that would make their measurements even more anchored, so they always try to locate as many of these spheres as they can so that they get more accurate data. For example, the data from one scan may look like this, and the data from another scanning location might look like this. By doing a coordinate transformation and aligning every scan up with the reference frame defined by these 7 spheres, they're able to create a common coordinate system that can be used to simply add up all the scanning data and create an
Here's what I want to know. Who made it? Who made it? Who made it? Who made the thing? I mean, it's the guy, the desk in the sun isn't asking this, but it seems like a pretty reasonable question. Who made the sheet? How do you engineer a sheet that you don't know the size of? How do you spend millions of dollars engineering a sheet, a light and heat shield with all this high-end technology, and you don't know the product, what it is? You just make something and arbitrarily cut it with like what? Like sewing machine, sewing scissors? That makes no sense. If someone engineered this thing, they already have even a higher degree of the data and the shape of it and the measurement of it. That makes no sense. Who made it? They just made it. Oh, well, we'll just make it. I don't know. What size is it going to be? No idea. The measurers will determine the size, not the engineering. Well, don't we want to engineer based on the actual size that it needs to be? Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, we're going to make this thing? Yeah, we'll make it. Put it into production. Heat shield. Print. Wait, so how big should it be? I don't know, dude. They're going to measure it after we make it. It's going to be great. Don't worry about it. They don't engineer it under a load? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Rev? Do they make it according to needing a load? What are you talking about? They made this sheet. You're going to tell me they made this sheet without the knowledge of what it's going to look like with a load on it. What are you talking about? That would have to be already done. What are you talking about, dude? Well, dude, they didn't engineer it based on what it's used for. That's what you're saying. Nice work, dude. Dude, they didn't engineer the thing based on what it does. They just engineered it based on what it is. Then it does. Then it's for what it does after they measure it. Yeah. They just make it first, and then they put the load on it. Dude, how do you make it without considering the load that's going to be on it and how big it's going to be after that, right? What are you talking about? Is that what I said? You just said you're trying to cope right now and say they don't fabricate it under. I know that. I know that. but they fabricate it based on the assumption of the knowledge of what it would look like and how it would affect having a load on it, right? Doesn't change the problem, dude. You don't make a giant shield out of expensive equipment that does all of this thing, right, without a full idea of its size as it's made and its size of when the load's on it, right? You would already know the measurement, actually. And you still wouldn't have any effective, you wouldn't have any direct experiment of what would happen in space anyway, the vacuum of space. You're just in a room. You're just in a room somewhere in Burbank, California, or wherever the hell they are. Imagine bridges were built this way. Yeah. You're like, well, I built a bridge. And you're like, does it support the load? No, it wasn't built for the load. That we measure that after the fact. Come on, Jimbob.
Overall measurement of the shield. Because each scanning setup can only see a portion of the Sunshield, the spheres are the key to tying all the data together. They move around the room, repositioning the instruments over.
Zorch says, JB is asking about the engineering. There should be some knowledge of the design specifications. Yeah, they're like totally in the dark. Like obviously it's designed for some purpose, but now they're acting like they're just discovering. They're discovering the effect of it.
Over several weeks to get different vantage points of the Sunshield, and
we're all just too dumb to understand. That's what they tell us. That's what they tell us.
Then they add all this data up to create a 3D model of the entire Sunshield as it exists physically, accurate up to 5/1000ths of an inch. To get all of the Sunshield geometry, top and bottom, tip to tail, the team usually had to set up and measure from at least 9 different instrument locations to get all the data. This process seems straightforward enough for one Sunshield, but when you realize this routine was performed for every prototype, every repair or modification,
money in the bank. Money in the bank. How do you develop something that requires a lot of time, right, and money allocation, and have it perpetual? Like, it needs the most amount of everything. It's like those guys, man, those old boomers, oh man, did they luck out. They just got the best gig ever.
And the
it's money laundering. It is. It's fraud. It's actual fraud.
Final flight hardware for all 5 layers. That's why my dad worked on this project for so many years.
Yeah. Ding, ding, ding. Destin, are you understanding now? That's why people work these government jobs for so long, because they need to. Because they need to. That's why it's one measured shield for 19 years. That's why Dad is so busy all the time. I now know what they're doing. Spending grant money. Something, dude. Something very... Destin is so naive. He's like a little puppy dog. He's like a puppy golden retriever, just waiting for Dad to throw the Frisbee. And Dad's like, I got to measure it first. Like, throw the Frisbee, throw the Frisbee. And that's why Dad is busy all day. That's why this place is so weird. That's why he can't answer any questions about anything. He's just working for 10 straight years measuring one object.
Tell me this. If you've got the surface here,
Yeah.
I mean, is it Mylar?
No, it's Capcom.
Okay.
Capcom.
So the material that makes up the heat shield here is experiencing weight. It has weight here
Right now.
because we have 1G pulling it down.
Right.
So you're measuring it in a 1G environment. How do you equate that to a weightless environment?
Smarter people than me figure.
Smarter people than me do it. Look, son, I got to tell you once again, son. I just measure. I don't know why I'm measuring. I don't know why I'm measuring and accounting for what you just said, but I'm doing it somehow. You see, I don't understand what I'm measuring and the purpose for what's accounting for while I'm measuring. I'm literally just a measurement monkey. You see? Now that, son, is a good question. But I don't know the answer, even though I definitely should know the answer, given that I'm measuring to account for the answer. But I don't know the answer. I'm measuring in the dark, son. I don't know why. I know that they need to know it. I don't need to know. I'm on a need-to-know basis, son. It's the most expensive trampoline. Unbelievable.
Figure that out.
Where can I join? I want this job. I want this job immediately. Can you imagine? That's it. You're measuring for 8 years a trampoline, a shiny trampoline. You don't know why you're measuring it. You don't know which measurements you have to account for. You don't know which measurements are incongruent with the future of what you need to expect. You don't know anything. Well, I got to measure it first. Thank you so much. The metrologist is for hire, even if we're just measuring in the dark. That's right. That's right, son. Probably makes 200K. Easy. Easy, Naj. 200K. Smiling his way to the bank. I mean, this is insane. This like, Destin should be like, what is happening here?
The heat shield here is experiencing
Clumsy in the clean room.
weight.
That's a good idea, nice.
It has weight here because we have 1G pulling it down.
Right.
So you're measuring it in a 1G environment. How do you equate that to a weightless environment?
Smarter people than me figure that out.
Oh, really?
That's NASA's entire scam. The entirety of the scam is there's always a smarter person they defer to that knows better. And then that person defers, and it's this endless cycle of just pure fraud.
Really?
Yes, they do.
But that's what they do. So like Naveen, he'll take the data that you give him.
Yes.
And then he has a way of turning that into a weightless type measurement.
Yes, he'll compare.
Weightless measurement, we call it. Weightless measurement. You know, we don't need to practice for anything. There's no actualization of testing this stuff. What we do is we have a weight measurement and a weightless measurement. We just hope and pray it's the same. We just hope and pray it's the same.
To the finite element analysis of it, and we have people that do that, and we'll put it under.
Smarter people than you knows better. Isn't that how the world goes around?
3x.
But then nobody knows. Because it could be true smarter people knows better, but the problem is nobody seems to knows better. We don't know whose they are.
Load, and what you're seeing right now is a 1x load. All we're doing is just holding it up off the floor, really. We're just supporting it right now.
Okay.
This is not the final shape that you see. When we did the test a couple of nights ago,
We're going to collect data, feed the model, hope the model is accurate because the model totally is made up too. And then that's how we know, son, if we launch this quadrillion-dollar toy into space, that when it expands, we know that our measurements were useless anyway. Because the measurement wouldn't be the measurement because of everything, all the other variables, son. You understand? Get out, son. You're not welcome here anymore.
that was
The one where I was watching through that window over there?
Right.
Everything was really tight then.
Yes, it was.
Okay, so it's a more stressful test.
Yes, it is.
Okay, gotcha.
Once Bobby, Mark, and Dad get all this data, they have to hand it
Dad.
off to an analyst who's really good at math.
This guy thinks using the term dad softens the fraud happening. You know what I mean? He's in full cope mode. Look at him. He's like, Daddy's not a fraud. Daddy didn't lie. Daddy done good. Daddy's my hero, right? Mom? So Daddy, anyway, Dad.
so they can do all these coordinate transformations and add all their scans up so they can compare it to a model, is my assumption. Now, the reason I usually hear of engineers comparing things to models is you want to see what spots are high and what spots are low and see what's messed up. But the good thing is I actually know the guy that did the analysis for him.
Of course, some Indian guy. Hey, you as an engineer, Destin, do you also know that even the model itself isn't the determining factor to whether or not you're accurate? You know what is? The experiment, the practice, the actualization of the thing itself, right? You don't know. You don't know until then. But I know the model guy, and he's going to tell me all the measurements or match up to the model. Where's the test? Well, we don't test. We just launch it in, and we just hope. And we nail it every time. It's amazing.
His name is Naveen, and he's a buddy. So let's just call Naveen and go ask him what he did. Okay, fast forward to now. We're like...
Pretty sure we can look at the NASA careers website.
6 years ahead from the timeline of the video here. Not only is Naveen super, super smart, your PhD in like fusion or something like
Nuclear fusion.
Nuclear fusion, okay. But we're buddies. And we've known each other for a while. And
you are my friend, sir. You are my first friend, sir, here. I appreciate you showed me Waffle House. First time Waffle House. Remember? Destin. Your father...
Naveen worked with my dad, true?
Yes,
but
on James Webb.
Real quick, like you actually love
astronomy. Yeah, anything space.
Anything space.
Especially astronomy.
Okay, so I wanted to interview Naveen up here because this is VBAS, the Von Braun Astronomical Society, and you're on the board.
The Von Braun. The Von Braun. The Yahtzee Observation Society. 34 of 50, y'all. We got 44 minutes, y'all. Let's get that up. We got 16 left. Let's do it. Come on. It's a good day today. Come on. Well, let's go. Don't be that guy's dad. Come on. Don't be him. Don't pretend you don't know what you're doing here.
Right? Yeah, I'm an officer and I'm mainly the outreach coordinator. So we take telescopes to schools and museums and look through the telescopes, the planets, deep sky.
We look for mostly autistic people. That is our outreach program. Mostly looking for autistic, strange people. Don't get jokes. Those ideal people, take them kids off the hands of the mother, father of those kids. Send them to space camp. Then they some of them we divert to the virtual reality Mars rover program. Lovely to see. You go there and 20 kids all in my headset driving nothing. Jason McGinney, $5. How did Vajine's brother get a job?
The objects and all that.
So James Webb was more than a job for you. It was like a passion, right?
Yeah.
The guy's a security guard.
It is. It was. And it still is, actually.
It was. They pushed me out. But yeah, that's a sore topic.
So Naveen was the smart guy that Dad and the team would take the data to. When they would measure with lasers, they would get a huge amount of data and they would bring it and they would drop it in your lap.
Yep.
And my question is, why? What did you do with the data?
So there is this data is LiDAR data, so it's kind of light detection and ranging. So it's a lot of points.
So you're really good with MATLAB.
MATLAB, any programming software, but this one is mainly coordinate transformation. It's called photogrammetry. You see that in like
Look, it's literally like the suit, right? You get in the suit like freaking Gollum did. You get a bunch of balls. I mean, those are actually sensors, but you're creating a contour coordinate system based on multiplicity of points, and then the object and the measurement, the object itself, is interpolated, connecting all of those points. We understand.
When you are taking topographical...
This is a what happens now is a meta measurement. So your dad is one of the best. One of the best measurers, the white measurers, this side of the United States. I am then the better, they call me super major measurer. So everything comes to be, what I do is I measure again.
pictures of different landscapes. So we did something similar using the scans. And
Holy cow, that is a big coordinate system.
depending on where you put the scanner, so it will give you different point cloud.
Right.
So now we need to do the appropriate coordinate transformation to make sure all the clouds align, and then we clean that data to compare it with
This is a fat Earth. Yeah, it is a fat Earth stream.
the finite element model.
So step one, you've got the spheres throughout the room.
Well, I want to go back to one thing you said, Dustin. You said I was your friend, right? Yeah, you're my friend. Why is it that you not invite me over for the dinner? I call you, I email you, and Facebook you multiple times, and I know that you have dinner parties. And I say, I am ready, I buy a suit. And you're not, you say friend, you're not friend. You did not invite me to your dinner parties.
So you would use those spheres as anchor points.
Yes.
And then you would take whatever the scan.
Whoa. I did track my friends on my phone. I saw you went to putt-putt golf. You went to putt-putt golf 2 blocks from my home. No text. No knock on the door. No putt-putt with me. But you hear say on his channel, you say I am your friend.
Scanner saw there, and you would transform it.
Exactly.
And then you would line up all the data.
All the data.
Okay, but after that, after you added all the data together, you had the true point cloud of the entire Sunshield.
Yeah, that's used to be like 10 gigabytes of data or something like
of
that.
just XYZ points.
Yeah, just points everywhere.
Okay, and so Dad told me a couple of interesting things. He said that
Dad, just stop, dude. This is getting gross. I also call him Dad. What funny thing about your dad is that he does invite me over to his house. He does invite me over to his house. So your dad, I call him Dad. I probably call him Dad more times a week than you.
when you guys were measuring the Kapton, it's like a big kite. And he said when they were actually scanning, they had to sneak through the room because of air movement. Is that true?
That's true.
Yes, yep, that is true.
Yeah, we had to shut down.
You sneak around. The way I snuck into the country, same thing.
On all the air conditioning HEPA filter.
Oh, you have to turn everything off, and you have to. We have very, very special slippers we wear, NASA slippers. We sneak around the lasers
and all that, and then walk very, very slowly.
Yeah.
Luckily, we
like a movie, like a Jackie Chan. Oh, I love Jackie Chan.
did all the testing in the middle of the night, so there is.
We do everything in the middle of the night, so nobody knows what we're doing here at NASA. We use the funds at night, and off the dollar signs go up off into the night. Gone.
Isn't much disturbance.
Just like that. Gone. All of the funding gone into the pockets into the night.
From outside, and whenever we used to go, only 1 or 2 persons used to go into the clean room and walk.
We sneak in a clean room at night. Nobody knows what we're doing.
Very, very slowly to
Very slowly.
change the scanner location.
Like you assumed a position. And
like that. Sometimes just like that.
Really?
Yeah. So when
Yup, just do that. Even though the amount of $1 trillion could actually just put a very smooth robot that costs probably less than my salary.
helicopter.
It makes no sense. The analog aspect to this whole process is so questionable. You're spending millions of dollars. Millions. But they don't have the very considerably cheaper technology that replaces the human error of walking and tiptoeing around in your dirty feet. Finally, I felt at home. That's the one time I feel at home when we go back at night to measure. Because I ask Dad, Dad, can I take my shoes off? And he look at me and smile so big. Your dad. That's why I love him. He looked at me so big. He said, yes, welcome home. Welcome home.
Flew over the building. the vibrations due to that helicopter flying over the building could actually be felt on the captain layer, and we could see it.
Yeah. Did you happen to hear the weird HVAC sounds going on in the room before, the control room?
So what we used to do, we used to write down, okay, at this time in the night, helicopter flew over the building. In that way, when I get the data, I look at the point cloud, I could see that sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, in that region, you could concentrate it and you can see some kind of ripple kind of effect.
I have a weird feeling they don't write helicopter flew
There's
over the
no
region.
video footage, but we all know who pooped in the shield.
That doesn't even make sense. You wouldn't need to say helicopter. You know, it would be like some technical term like foreign sound, like something like that. Oh, H403 model helicopter flying over past. That is what that is. Oh, ice cream truck beeping. I actually do want some, but I can't go outside right now. But that sound wave right there is the beeping and the beautiful ice cream music sound. Say ice cream here, ice cream here.
Effects.
That's insane because it's the vibration, because you were measuring that accurately.
Yeah, laser scanners are very, very accurate.
Oh, okay, so this is the question. I get it. You're actually defining the shape of the actual Sunshield as it was fabricated.
As it was deployed under Earth's gravity.
You're measuring the Sunshield as it was fabricated. Yeah. Did you know that it would have already been measured to fabricate it? So I get it. So what you're doing is you're measuring the thing that was made that couldn't be made without measuring. You're measuring it again, right? That is correct. Does not make sense. I understand. Yeah.
Gravity.
In Earth's gravity.
In Earth's gravity.
So my question is, it's in space. So
Yeah.
how do you compare a 1G environment to the 0G of
That's a
space?
pretty good question. That's the reason why we deployed in the Earth's gravity to measure it, and we compare what we measured with a model, finite element.
A model. Yeah, of course. It's always a model. The answer is you don't know. Like that's the answer. How do you know what it's going to be in gravity, in the 0G? Well, that is a very good question. I even was potentially fired for asking this question. What we do is we just compare it with the model. Jason Cassell, $10. I'm going to have to watch later. I have 30 people I'm arguing with. They just don't get it. Only just one brought up morality, and I think I can get them to understand. Have a good day, JB. Thank you so much, Jason Cassell. Appreciate your ongoing support, sir. Really appreciate you. Have a good rest of your day. 13 left, y'all. 13 left, 30 minutes. 13 left, 30 minutes.
Analysis model.
Okay.
And in the finite element analysis model, we predict how the shape looks like in Earth's gravity.
How? Okay, so Earth gravity and then no gravity, okay?
And we compare the test data with the model data, and then we can see how good the model is. If the model has it differs by certain amount, which is acceptable, then we can immediately use the model to predict the shape in zero gravity.
Unbelievable. This is why, like, any engineer would tell you, this is not how engineering works. Engineering isn't just a guess, and then, like, you can guess. You can come to a model, and then you deploy it based on a model, but you don't know anything until you do it. That's the difference between theory and practice. You're just like, we hope. We hope. Billions of dollars or whatever it is, you know?
Because we have confidence in the model.
So it wasn't so
We have confidence in the model.
much about measuring the actual shape, it was about developing a model which could be used while it's in space.
Yes.
Okay, and why does it matter? Like, why does the shape of the Sunshield out in the middle of the Sunshield matter? Because it sounds like if you're just trying to cast a shadow, like if you're the
Here he is asking these questions again.
instrument,
If it's just a shield and it's a big blanket in space, you just kind of keep in place as a deflector. Well, Dustin, it's a very, very obvious question. Why are you trying to get your own father fired? The reason that they need it very specific is because then it takes 7 years and someone's paid for 7 years.
As long as I'm blocking you, what does it matter?
It's 100%. No, it's not, dude. Engineering, you need the actual, Rev. What are you talking about? What you need in engineering is the actual. Like, you couldn't develop, based on mathematics, the car, right? Even if you were confident in the model, right? Knowing how the world operates locally. You still need to run it. You still need to run the operation to see if you miss something. That's why practice reveals what's wrong with the model. Do you understand? The model doesn't tell you the actual. The model gives you a reference. And then when you run the thing, run the operation, run the car, run the four-wheeler, whatever it is you're doing, if it doesn't match the model, you have a model as a reference to see what was wrong about the model and the actual. So what are you talking about? It's how engineer works. No, engineering only works because you have a reference between the actual and the model. In this case, you don't. There is no reference. Do you understand? There's no reference of actual to the model in this case. They just hope, send it up wherever it's going, and just hope that they were right. And lo and behold, NASA every time is right. The cope, man. The dude, yo, Rev, do you have NASA bed sheets? Chasing Cassell's an engineer. Love to hear these professionals explain the mysteries. Jason says I'm correct. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like, what good is engineering if you don't have an actual? Like, that's the whole point. You're like, oh, I'm going to engineer this. I'm going to use these models. It should be pretty close. But then the actual happens, and then you go back and you go, oh, weird. I didn't even think of accounting for that. Wow, that's amazing. Amazing. So glad I can go back to the model from the actual. But no, in this case, it's a one-time deal, and they nail it. They nail it.
Matter what?
Yes, model test. Yeah, tell me how they test it, Rev. Tell me how they test it, buddy. Are you not listening? They don't. There's no test, bro. No test.
The Kapton is doing out in the middle.
How do you test something in non-gravity and then you're making it in gravity? You're making in gravity. The idea is, well, what changes in this so-called vacuum, non-gravity vacuum? What's the difference? Well, you can't test it here. There's no testing here. That's testing against a model. You're not testing actual. You're testing a model.
So it's not only blocking the light, it's also about the heat. Heat is coming also.
These are called unknown unknowns. Yeah, unknown
coming from
unknowns.
sun and earth. Heat is also coming from the telescope bus where all the instruments are. They are generating it. Yeah, underneath that.
Yeah, how do you get to the facility in space to test it?
That box is creating heat, generating heat. We want to make sure this heat is all radiated outwards.
Okay.
And that shape, the gap between these two layers, or those 5 layers, plays a very, very important role in dissipating or it's radiating that heat out.
So it's just reflecting it off.
Reflecting outwards like that, and it's like reflects, goes up, reflects down, reflects up, reflects, goes down, and then it goes out like that.
Oh, is this like a pipe? So you're like, it's bouncing back and forth till it goes out to the side?
It's just like a light, right? Light bouncing off to.
Wow, Dustin. Is this like a type? A pipe? Is this like a pipe mirror? Is this like a kaleidoscope? I'm feeling very childish right now. I want to go to a carnival. I suddenly want Dippin' Dots and funnel cake. Is this like a light? No, it's like light. The light reflects off of the thing, yeah. He didn't say anything extra. He's like, the question was, why does it matter what the shape is if it's just there to block and reflect? He's like, well, no, it's meant to reflect like light does, reflect and block.
Reflective material, between two reflective materials. So you have...
Shut up, you have total internal reflection.
Don't tell me shut up. I come to America not to get this abuse from you.
Of heat?
Yeah.
And you're like dissipating it out to the sides.
Yep.
That's why there's 5 layers.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Whew. He's like, whoo! Woo, that was a close one. $10. Secular people will say that everything in the mind is first in the senses, but then they deny that everything in the model theory must first be in the external world. That is interesting. That's a really good parallel there, JB. JB, you acting all smart today. It's interesting. I gotta remember that one. They need the actual to argue the truth of the matter, but they don't care about this actual. They're like, just good luck.
It's all radiating the heat outwards.
Okay, I had no idea. So it's not about a shape model. I mean, that's part of it, but it's about a heat model.
But
that doesn't make any sense, dude. They're agonizing over the shape of this thing based on the weight distribution, right? Here and in space. But the function of it has nothing to do with the shape of it, but rather the composition of it, which is active, does its thing, and functional regardless of the shape. They're just bad. They're all over the place. They don't even know what they're doing. I honestly think they have no idea what's happening.
the shape is what is directing the heat out, right? So the shape is...
Yeah, it's a contradiction. The dude Destin just got excited. He was like, what's guiding the heat out is the layers, right? And then yes, sir. Sir, you're correct. Also not. That's not what's happening.
important.
Explain.
How if we have only two layers that are like flat?
No, layer isn't shape. Layer is what's composed of.
Okay.
Well, how is the light going to, or the light or the heat that light is bringing in going to go outside?
It's just going to bounce back and forth like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you play with the shape, I don't want to go into the details, but if you play
Of course not.
with the shape and you have the right shape, you can direct this heat that is generated at the core, at the bus, the bottom box. You can direct it in such a way that it just radiates out.
So so Dad was measuring points.
Dad was at the shop. Dad was at the shop. If you play with the money, you would make any shape you want.
To predict the shape using a model. You were validating the model in 1G so that when it's in 0G, you could then use the model to determine if the radiation pipes or planes were working correctly.
Yeah.
I've known about this Sunshield for years, and I never knew that was the point. Did
Dad know anything? No, your dad is actually retarded. He is actually a retarded boomer. That is why we hired him. No offense to you, but you are lot very smarter than your dad. He don't know anything.
Dad know that?
I'm not sure.
He just measured it.
Yeah.
And went to lunch with you and gave you the data.
No, these technicians are... I wouldn't do these technicians' job. They are so precise. I don't have that kind of experience to be so...
The layers reduce temperatures incrementally. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay. The shape directs and sheds the heat radiation. Okay. And so I don't understand. What's with this agony of measurements then? That means it's already, dude, that means it's already engineered before it's made, bro. That means you already have that in mind before it's made. Hello?
Precise. If they want to...
So they just wasted 8 years of measuring something they already knew the measurement and the function of. Why are they measuring something they already know because it's produced? They know it.
To weld something, like for example...
I got to run soon, guys. So if we can get a quick turbo 11, that would be really great for today. Pretty epic stream. I think I've earned it. 11. Let's get a quick 11 going, shall we?
Thermals, the seam
Got
bonding,
20 minutes.
They're so careful about that. Where in exactly the light line should stand on the entire Sunshield. These technicians were like really amazing. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't even touch. I probably touched the layer maybe 10-15 times. That's it. Yeah. I wouldn't want to touch that.
That's amazing. Okay, I had no idea what you did, and now I do. Thank you very much. Finishing up with the data. Does that make any sense? You're in a video. You're in the middle of a video here.
Oh.
And we're going back in time now.
Okay. What? So, are we talking about time travel here?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Basically, that's what the James Webb does, kind of, right?
Okay. So yeah, it is going all the way to the beginning of the universe. Yeah.
The James Webb Telescope's going to the beginning of the universe. Abby Zong, $5. Whoosh. Thank you so much. 10 to go. I basically have to go in like 5 minutes, actually, or less. So if you want to be very aggressive in me meeting the goal, that would be great. 10 is not too bad. Let's do it. Come on. Countdown. Final countdown for the day. Let's do this. Abby's into it. Thank you, Abby. Appreciate that. 9 more, y'all. Let's go. Let's go. Sir, I don't consent to being failed. I want to go back in time. I want to go back to the beginning of the universe. I would like that, sir. There's another from Abby. Thank you so much, Abby. All of you guys should be ashamed of the female leadership over here. Thank you so much, Abby. 8 more, sir. Sir, please. 8 more, sir. There's 1. Thank you, the Jason. Appreciate you. 7 more. 7 more,
So this
sir.
is like this is an art, right? This isn't like just gluing together potato
6
chip
more.
bag. This is
no.
that's where the secret sauce is, right?
It's precision. It's precision.
It's precision.
And you have to be, or you would, when you stretch it out tight, you would have folds and
5, 4.
Yeah, it has to be very precise.
Gotcha. Okay,
3.
so that curve right there, you've told me about this over dinner a couple of times. What is that curve?
It's called a catenary curve. Catenary.
Okay.
It's like the curve that a chain or a string would have if you suspended it from both ends.
Okay.
Fact check.
Fact check that. I don't know, son. Just a measuring man. I'm a measure man. I'm a measuring man. A measure man.